Hey, what's up, Lightbolt Joe here. Today we are going to discuss the 2008 horror film Saw 5. This came out October 2008. This came out the same weekend that High School Musical 3 senior year came out. I remember seeing it with a group of friends, and I had passed a group of high school friends going to the same theater, and they're like, "Wait, you're going to see Saw? Aren't you going to see High School Musical?" Because I did 80 billion productions of High School Musical, big HSM buff. And I was like, nah, like, it's the fifth Saw, like, we gotta go see it. So we all actually went to see the fifth Saw at a local theater, which is 2 miles away. It does not exist anymore, but it was, shout out to Great South Bay Movie Theater. So it was a blast. So Saw 5, the last thing we see is, of Saw 4, Hoffman, leaves, with a key that he, after he locks Strom into the room where Jigsaw and Amanda died, and Lynn. So we go back to Jeff shooting at Strom. Strom shoots at Jeff. Jeff is dead. So there's 4 bodies in that little room now. We learn that Hoffman went to go set the trap up to put Strom in, because there's a secret little entrance. So Strom went down that hallway, was put in that water box, put a pen through his throat so he could actually breathe through the trachea. And the key was to keep Strom and make him go that way, but also Hoffman was making it look like he was the only survivor, and he saved Jeff and Lynn's daughter, who happened to be in the building as well. That's how it was pitched. He did not expect Strom to live. Strom lived. So Strom gets the news that Agent Perez is dead. Special Agent Erickson is now brought into the mix as well, so he's new to the case. So he's talking to Peter Strom, saying, you need to take a break. You're getting too obsessed with this. Jill Tuck is going to Erickson now, saying that she believes that Strom is following her, even though he's not. And Strom is on Hoffman's case. Strom figured out that Hoffman is the other Jigsaw apprentice. Now, Hoffman's sister was murdered by this guy, Seth, and he didn't get the justice he deserved. He was released early from prison on a technicality. So Hoffman put Seth in a Jigsaw trap to make it look like a Jigsaw death, so that way he could kill Seth for the justice for his sister, his only family. But John Kramer, and again, this is flashbacks, so this is a matter of how did, because we know how Amanda got to be a part of Jigsaw's group. How did Hoffman get to be a part of Jigsaw's group? So this was that origin story of that. Hoffman was put in a trap by Jigsaw. They had it out with each other, and then Hoffman joins the group. So it's Hoffman, Amanda, Jigsaw, and then we find out later on that there's another individual doing the setups. So we get flashbacks of setting up for the second movie's traps of everybody in the house. Saving the daughter after, the 3rd/4th movie, because those movies happen at the same time. So this is a direct sequel to those, because the story then continues. Now, Hoffman is trying to set Strom up, and everything points in Strom's direction. So Peter Strom is now the main suspect, but after he figures all this out and Hoffman tricks him, Strom and Hoffman have a little battle. Hoffman goes in a glass box filled with glass shards, and then he gets lowered into a floor, and then Peter Strom gets smushed and then dead and blood everywhere. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful, don't go in too deep or else she'll get hurt kind of metaphor, but it's twisted because it's a Saw movie. So we only have John Kramer in this very, very briefly. This is really a matter of Hoffman is the only one left out of Amanda, John, and Hoffman, right? So since the 3 of them did the main work, essentially, minus the person we will talk about later, we also know that Jill sees a Last Will and Testament attorney. She gets a box from Jigsaw. She happens to have a key around her neck of what's in it, so she knows what to do with that. But she still goes to Erickson and say, hey, listen, like, Strom is, following me, even though he's not. So it's a matter of, what's going on here? Why is Jill lying? What happens when Hoffman gets lowered into the floor? Peter Strom is still smushed, so I guess we gotta watch the 6th to see what happens next. Great memories watching this film with friends. October 2008, good time. Let's put it that way. And yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say on this film. It was another. We got a lot of answers, and we have a lot more questions. Oh, while all of this is happening, there is another game being played. 5 people are, being tested because they, you know, forged city planning things, they pushed paperwork through, a building was destroyed, it's caught on fire, 8 people died in the fire, but everybody covered it up. Fire marshal fudged the papers, a detective journalist fudged the papers. Like, everyone is now being tested to see if they can work together to survive. And then at the very end, before Peter is smushed, Erickson, Detective Erickson, you know, gets to the last survivor, and, you know, she said, we won, we worked together, even though they didn't realize they were supposed to until the very end, but c'est la vie. So there's a lot of story going on in this film, but I remember watching it in theaters, and I was like, oh, so this is a new beginning. Like, this is another origin. This is another, okay, well, we have answers, but we have 1,000 more questions. And that's what's cool about these movies. You watch them like a soap opera, you get one answer, but you get 2 more questions. And it's a never-ending cycle. So, thus concludes our Saw 5 conversation. Thank you, Billy, for being so patient as we go through all of these. And we have, 6, 7, and then 8. So we got 3 left. So we can do this. Happy spooky season, one and all. Mucho mahalo.